Shifting gears now, and Nairobi lawyer Apollo Mboya now wants the Director of Public Prosecutions, Renson Ingonga, to institute criminal charges against several individuals mentioned in allegations of vote manipulations during Kenya's 2007 presidential election. The move follows an investigative report aired by NTV, which detailed claims that former government officials and members of the then Electoral Commission of Kenya may have used state machinery to subvert the will of the people.
Complete data that Israel, who had won the election.
For nearly 2 decades, the story of Kenya's 2007 presidential election has lingered in public memory, political debates and courtrooms.
But the attempt of this government to steal this election.
Now, almost 20 years later, an investigative documentary aired on NTV has reignited the debate, bringing forward insider accounts of what unfolded behind the scenes during one of the country's most contentious elections. In a letter addressed to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Renson Ingonga, lawyer Apollo Mboya is calling for criminal investigations into allegations that the state machinery was used to influence the outcome of the presidential vote.
I told him, because I know how cameras work, turn off the lights.
Among those featured in the documentary is former government spokesperson Alfred Mutua, who spoke about his role during the tense political period, a time when the presidential contest between the late former Premier Raila Odinga and the late Mwai Kibaki ended in controversy. Media mogul Samuel Kamau Macharia, chairman of Royal Media Services, also appears in the documentary discussing the tense final hours of the vote tallying process.
And we changed all those figures, and Kibaki won the election against him.
Former commissioners of the Electoral Commission of Kenya, including Jack Tumwa and Muturi Kigano, are also among those whose accounts feature in the documentary.
But you know, we had to announce the results. We had to announce the results on that day.
Other voices include former KBC editor-in-chief Waithaka Waihenya and former bodyguard to Alfred Mutua Nimrod Mbai, now the MP for Kitui East, describing the confusion and tension that surrounded the announcement of the results.
Calls started coming in from very senior people. They asked me, can you announce these results from Abadeas Forest?
The disputed election ultimately triggered the 2007-2008 Kenyan post-election violence, one of the darkest chapters in Kenya's democratic history. More than 1,000 people were killed in the unrest, while hundreds of thousands were displaced. In his letter, Mboya argues that crimes arising from the alleged subversion of the electorate's will carry no statute of limitation. He is urging prosecutors to summon those mentioned to record statements as part of a possible criminal investigation. The former Chief Executive Officer of the Law Society of Kenya warns that if the prosecution office fails to act, he will initiate private prosecution proceedings within 21 days. Whether the revelations lead to fresh investigations or reopen old political wounds may now depend on the next move by Kenya's top prosecutor. Laban Shaban, NTV.